Hello, I'm Dr. Alveda King, Director of African American Outreach with Priest for Life. October in America is Pro-Life Month. There are many other days that are observed and months that are observed, of course, during the calendar year, but certainly Pro-Life Month is very important. As Director of African American Outreach at Priest for Life, I invite you to go to africanamericanOutreach.com or .org, where you can find out some of the things that we are doing to help people in America and around the world all year, but especially in October, to really pray for life and to work towards making an awareness of the sanctity of life. I begin, of course, in the African American community because I'm an African American woman, but this message is for every family and every individual. It's very important to observe and know why the sanctity of life is so important. My uncle, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., said that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. I believe that my father, his brother, Reverend A.D. King, and my granddaddy, Dr. Martin Luther King Sr., would agree with me in these observations. You know, my grandfather, Dr. Martin Luther King Sr., told my mother in 1950, my mother wanted a DNC for exploratory purposes. And of course, abortion was illegal back then, but the DNC was not. My mother had conceived me, and Granddaddy said, you know, they're lying to you. That's not a lump of flesh. That's my granddaughter. I saw her in a dream 3 years ago, and she's going to bless many people. So I was born into a pro-life family, but through the years I began to buy into the agenda that a woman has a right to choose an abortion. Of course, I just didn't know at the time, and I had secret abortions, and you can find out all about that at africanamericanOutreach.com. Look for How Can the Dream Survive If We Murder Our Children. I have a whole video there giving you my personal testimony. But in the mid-1980s, I became a born-again Christian. And as a born-again Christian, I began to understand the sanctity of life, how John 3:16 is true. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, Jesus Christ, so that whosoever believes on Jesus would not perish but have everlasting life. So life is important. The sanctity of life is important. And you can find out more at africanamericanOutreach.com. I also want to invite you to pray with us here at Priest for Life and to pray for America. As you pray and as we pray together, that God will hear us and answer our prayers. We believe that the sanctity of life will become something that many people will understand and embrace. And so in Pro-Life Month, and especially on Pro-Life Sunday, we invite you to pray with us. Visit us at priestforlife.org. I'm Dr. Alveda King, Director of African American Outreach with Priest for Life.